Welcome to the Living Stories podcast.
My name is Juliana.
My name is Constança. My name is Madonna. My name is Clara.
My name is João.
And my name is Leonardo. In today's episode of our podcast, we're delighted to have as a guest a colleague and a friend of mine, Fatema Dias, to talk about a bit about her life and what it's like to be a person with mobility impairment in Lisbon. Guys, let's give Fatema a warm welcome. Fatema, thanks so much for accepting our invitation to join us, and on a most momentous occasion. As we record this episode, we're celebrating people with a disability on the International Days of Persons with Disabilities. The stars seem to have aligned to make our chat happen, right, Fatema?
Yeah, that's great. I'm really, really happy to be here. What a great day to be here. So thank you for inviting me, Leonardo.
Right. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce a new feature on our podcast, The Heroes with 1,000 Hooks. We're going to ask you a trivia question related to the topic of our discussion. If you get the answer right, you will get our respect and admiration. No, I'm joking. You will get a shout out, or as we like to call it, an honorable mention in the next episode, and a guaranteed membership in the Brainiac board. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Here it goes. Take it away.
Which silver screen and real-life hero made the following quotations? A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. Was it option A, Michael Sheen, who played Aziraphale in God Omens 2019? B, Christopher Reeve, who played Superman in Superman in 1980? C, Henry Cavill, who played Superman in Man of Steel 2013? Or D, Idris Elba, who played Bloodsport in Suicide Squad 2021?
So, what do you guys think? Any guesses?
No.
I think I would go with Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Only because he's saying that a hero is an ordinary individual. And if we look at the others, we see
It might be.
Christopher Reeve,
Might be.
Superman. And
Yeah. What do you say, Juliana?
I didn't know any of these names. Didn't say nothing.
It's Idris Elba right there. You can see on the board. Here's Michael Sheen. Here's Henry Cavill. Christopher Reeve. And here's Henry Cavill.
I think that's the Christopher Reeve.
Reeve.
Superman. Reeve.
You mean Christopher Reeve?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's A, Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
João?
I
Any
think
guesses?
I'd say to Michael Sheen.
Okay. So, if you want to know the correct answer, stay tuned. I will tell you all the correct answer at the end of our episode. Right, without further ado, let's get right into it. Fatema, we all know you as a veteran teacher here at the British Council, a fountain of knowledge, a leader of students and teachers, a voice that rises in defense of those with special needs, actually. But what can you tell us about yourself as a person? We'd love to learn more about yourself.
oh wow, what can I say? Well, I have been teaching for a long time. Before I was teaching, I used to work in the city, and I worked for the government of Kuwait, and so I visited Kuwait. I worked in the IT department. I loved it. I mean, that was my first ever full-time job, and then I did that for many, many years.
Were you born and raised there?
I was born and raised in the UK. Yeah,
I see.
We moved around a lot as a family.
Okay.
And I eventually settled as an adult in Beckenham in Kent before coming to Portugal. But yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of things. I mean, I had my own restaurant at one stage as
Oh, wow.
well.
Okay.
So, because I'm a keen cook, so I have so I had my own restaurant. I've also applied for Portuguese MasterChef on 2 occasions.
That's so cool.
On one occasion, I was in the top 60. So it was really it's so exciting because the judges were going around with the wooden spoons and like they were coming close to me and thinking, could it be me? Could it be? Could it be me? But then no, it wasn't me. So just top 60. But I mean, I keep trying and I will keep trying. I tried a couple of years ago, but didn't get very far. And I missed it this time because every year I look out for the season starting and the applications opening, but I missed it this year, so I'm just going to have to sit and watch it on TV because me and my son we all watch it on TV because we love it.
That's really
love MasterChef. Big fans of MasterChef. All episodes of MasterChef, like all series of MasterChef, like the Australian, the UK MasterChef. So I'm really into food, and food is a really important part of my life.
Can you tell us what your signature dish is?
Oh gosh, I mean, I do make a mean tiramisu, I must say, because I'm half Italian. But I mean, I have put a twist on it, so I mean, it's probably not the most traditional. I do make a lot of pastas, and I like making my own pasta. So love making my own pasta. But everything really. I mean, I'll try anything. Just recently, I've been experimenting with Middle Eastern spices, and so I've made like ras al hanout chicken and ras al hanout beef. So yeah.
We're looking forward to being invited to your place and enjoying your amazing cooking. So, would anyone like to ask any further questions? I'm just curious about one thing. How big is your family? Do you?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I am married, and I have a son. He'll be 20 next week, and he studies at Technical. So he's doing programming and electronics.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and he actually also works here as a young learner assistant. He works for the British Council as young learner assistant. He did work in Miraflores, but not anymore. So he works in some of the other centres. So yeah.
All right. So Clara would like to start by asking a question, perhaps.
Okay, so my question is, what happened in your life for you to become someone with a mobility challenge?
Okay. Well, I had an accident, but I find it curious that when people see me and they see that because I've got an artificial limb, so I have an artificial limb. And I'm an above knee amputee, which means that my amputation is above my knee. And I'm curious that when people see me, for the first time, and they'll ask, "Oh, what happened to you?" And I just wonder, why people would do that. Why do you need to know? I mean, what can it possibly do to your life what can it change in your life to ask such a question? It's not going to have any impact on you whatsoever. And I. That kind of question makes me feel uncomfortable. I mean, I have close friends, who have never asked me what happened, and so for a stranger to ask, it's a bit of an uncomfortable question. But I had a motorbike accident when I was in Greece. That's what made me disabled. Yeah.
Did it happen a long time ago?
Yeah, almost 30 years ago. So when I was 30 years old.
Okay.
I'm now 59. So 30 years ago, when I was 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. I see.
How did your family react when they learned about your accident?
Oh, they were devastated, absolutely devastated. I mean, my dad was really upset. My mum had already passed away by then, so but my dad was really upset. Yeah, my sister was, they were all really, they couldn't believe it. They were just devastated. And my reaction as well was that I thought it was the end of my life. I thought my life was over. Because I came from Greece and I went straight into hospital in London, and I just thought that's it. My life is over. And I mean, I spent many days in the hospital ward, crying and crying and crying, because I used to ski a lot.
Oh.
I was a keen skier, and I just thought, and I said to the surgeon, oh, that's my skiing days over. And he said, no, of course it isn't. And of course it wasn't, because once I recovered, I did go back to skiing, and in fact, I was a better skier on one leg than I was on two legs. So, and I did things that
Amazing.
I did things that perhaps I wouldn't have done if I had been if I hadn't had my accident. I water skied on one leg, and I just
But in the ski companies, you have like accessible ways to do ski,
yeah,
like with the chair or something.
I didn't actually use a chair. I just did it on one leg. So the first time that I went skiing, I practiced in the UK. So I went to a special centre with disabled skiers, and they taught me how to ski on one leg. And so you have, what I had was crutches, but with little mini skis on the end, and I had one ski. So one ski on my leg. I never skied with my artificial limb, but I just had one ski, and then skis on crutches, and that's how I skied. And and I went to the first time I went skiing, I went to Italy, and it was quite difficult. But then I went to America. And I went to the disabled centre in America. I can't remember where it was now. Then Colorado. Was it Colorado? Oh God, I can't remember.
Right.
But I went, and it was a disabled ski centre, and it was just amazing. And people with all kinds of disabilities. Yes, the ones in the chairs. I skied on one leg, so I was a bit more mobile than some others. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Did I like it? Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And and I was amazed that I could ski on one leg. Because, like I said, I thought that my skiing days were over. So no, it was fantastic. Yeah, it's really good.
How good is Lisbon in terms of mobility and accessibility
Goodness
to
me.
disabled?
Yeah, I think I'd probably pick the worst city to live in. Because, as you know, Lisbon is built on 7 hills. So wherever you go, you're going to come across some kind of inclination or another. So, it's hard. It's very difficult. But I have to say that in terms of using public transport, I think that public transport is very good here. Because I went to Paris this summer, and the underground in Paris is hopeless. There are hardly any escalators and hardly any lifts, whereas here in Lisbon you have lots of escalators and lots of lifts. But in Paris, awful. I can't tell you how many stairs I went up and down this summer. By the end of it, because I was in Paris for 10 days, and by the end of it, I was really, tired and fed up of going up and down stairs. So yeah, it's difficult. Lisbon is difficult when you're walking, and also because of the calçada as well.
Yeah.
And when it's raining, then I have to be very, very careful, very careful. And these days, I tend to use a walking stick when I'm walking about. So not here in the centre because because it's all flat. But if I'm out and about, then I'll probably take a walking stick with me.
Go ahead.
How does your special need affect your daily life?
Well, it stops me from, because I move around quite a lot. I'm quite an active. I was quite an active person. A fidgeter, if you like, and so I'm always moving up and down, and it's kind of slowed me down in a way. I was always rushing here and there, and I can't do that anymore. So I have to do things more slowly, and sometimes, and I have to think about what I'm doing and where I'm going. Because if I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, then I have to put a lot of plasters on, because sometimes it can, my amputated leg might cause friction inside my artificial limb, and so I can get blisters and things like that. So sometimes it can be very difficult. So I have to plan things, and I also I dress my artificial limb in the evening, so I always have to think about what outfit I'm going to wear, because it's just easier. So that then when I get out of bed and I've had my shower, I can just put my leg on already dressed, because it's easier to get dressed with my clothes already on my leg than the other way around. But yeah, and also like other things like when I get up, I never have that luxury of just lounging around in pajamas. You know, like on a Sunday morning when you just want to, when you just sort of think, oh, I can't be bothered to get dressed. I can't do that. I don't have that luxury of just doing that. I have to get dressed. So you know, so I kind of really miss that. Since my accident, I've never ever just lounged around on a Sunday in my pajamas. Never lounged around in my pajamas. I'm always dressed. As soon as I get up, then I'm dressed, and I kind of miss that.
Do you believe your life has become more ritualized because of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I always have to think about like what I'm doing and how
Right.
and there's a lot of preparation in like getting ready and thinking about what I'm going to do and what I will need and that kind of thing. Even like packing for holidays and things like that. I have to make sure I've got enough plasters, make sure I've got my bandage, make sure I've got the different things that I need to put my leg on and things like that. Yeah.
As a result, did you become more of an organizer than you used to? Or?
Possibly, but I mean, I think I've always been quite an organised person. And also, like, I always have to think about where things are placed. Because the other day, we were just putting up our Christmas decorations, so my husband was like moving things around, and then I walked into the bedroom, and then all of a sudden, like, there were things in front of me, and I'm thinking, like, how am I going to get around? Because I mean, like, somebody else could just like slide by and things like that. So, I always have to say, like, you need to think about where you place things, especially at night as well. If I want to go to the loo, I mean, like, I have to have my bathroom is near my bed, and like and if I want to go to the loo, then I have to get I'm on my crutches, and I have to have a clear line of sight, if you like, to get to the bathroom. Otherwise, like if there's anything in my way, then I'm in trouble and I'm going to fall over or something like that.
Yeah, there is that saying, right? Men plan and God laughs. Has there ever been a situation where it was just ludicrous? You just had to laugh because it was nothing turned out the way you expected to.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that when you're relying on others, then that kind of happens. Like, I remember once when I was going to. I was visiting London, and my sister said, "Oh yeah, just get off at Crystal Palace, and then you'll be fine." Because I was visiting the Limb Centre in Crystal Palace. She said, "Yeah, just get off at Crystal Palace." What she failed to understand was that the Crystal Palace station was at the bottom of the hill, and I had a suitcase, so I had a suitcase, and I had to drag the suitcase to the top of the hill. So, like, I was furious because, like, people just don't think about things like that. And, like, so, you really have to sort of, like, think carefully.
Absolutely.
Lots of planning.
So, have you ever experienced any sort of discrimination at work? If so, how and how did you felt?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you a couple of stories. The first one was when I was working with primary school students in another organisation, and primary school students they're really, really curious, and so like they want to know everything, and so like they were they kept staring at my leg and things like that. So I said to them, right, okay, let's get into circle time. And so like what I used to do is I would get into circle time, and I say to them, right, you can ask as many questions as you like about my artificial limb. After that, we will not talk about it again. And so they'll ask me lots and lots of questions, and it's fine, because I mean, like, they're curious, and I don't mind that. Ask whatever you like, and they would ask, and then, but after one of these kind of episodes, the head of year received a complaint from a parent saying that I'd scared their child.
In what way?
Well, because I'd spoken so openly.
Okay.
Because I'd spoken so openly about my artificial limb, and I'd actually rolled up my jeans and showed them. And but the head of year was having none of it, and she said, here we foster inclusion. Yeah. So it's natural for them to be curious, and we want them to understand that we're not all the same, and So it's it's a case of fostering inclusion and diversity. So that was really, really great. Another time, a similar situation, kind of, in a class where I had a student who was it was during the summer, and I was wearing a dress, and so my leg, was on show. My artificial limb was on show, and a student in the class just refused to engage with me. So if I would hand her a worksheet, she kind of like winced, and I thought it was something to do with the fact that it was my artificial limb. And I spoke to the parents, the mum, and said, "Oh no, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that." And she spoke to the daughter, and after that, the daughter still refused, and she would only engage with through a young learner assistant. And so that was quite difficult, because it made me feel really, really sad. It made me feel really uncomfortable, and I think in the end they decided that that it was best that the student didn't continue in the class, which I thought was it was just one of those things. But yeah, and a lot and every so often now, because I go to the swimming pool quite a lot, and at the times that I'm going, they have school groups, and sometimes I have to listen to people saying, "Oh look, it's the one with it's the robot leg. Look, robot leg." And I've had somebody saying, "Oh, the one with the wooden leg," wooden legs had stopped being made before I was even born. So, so I thought that's a little bit, offensive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And friends have called me Peggy, as in peg leg. It's just totally unaware, and not showing any sensitivity,
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah,
I think there's room for us to discuss. So, how much room is there for humor in when we are discussing this sort of situation? Because I come from a culture that tends to be very lighthearted about everything, sometimes to a fault. So because it's sort of in our DNA, like we try to make light of whatever horrible situation we've been through. So what are your thoughts on that? So are there any limits as to what we should make fun of or not when it comes to people?
I think it depends on the relationship that you have with the
person.
Yes,
of course.
A friend of mine, whenever we're having a discussion or anything like that, and if I said, yeah, and of course you don't have a leg to stand on, or you didn't have a leg to stand on, she'll burst into fits of laughter, and then I start laughing too.
Okay.
And she always says that, because I think that I use that expression quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a natural expression.
Yeah,
we didn't have a leg to stand on, then she'll start laughing. So sometimes I think that you have to laugh at yourself, but I think it's it's the relationship where you have something. Somebody once said that they thought that my leg looked really weird, and I thought that was a bit insensitive. But
Right. Yeah. I am reminded of an initiative by Peter, which has nothing to do with what we're discussing, but it was an attempt to sort of sanitize the language that we use to talk about animals, and they were trying to get people to stop using some certain idioms. For example, instead of killing two birds with one stone.
I've seen that. Have you seen that?
Yeah. You feed two birds with one scone. So those. Okay, I actually embraced some of those idioms because I like them. I just happen to like them. But do you feel that at some point we might have to calibrate our language as well to make it more inclusive, and especially when it comes to something that is living and moving, such as the English language, right?
Yes, I think that we do need, because you can never know how it's going to affect somebody.
Yes.
So I think that, like I said, I think relationships are important.
Sure.
And knowing your audience and knowing where the limits are.
Okay.
Because I think that what you might find really, really humorous, somebody else might be offended by it. So I think that it's important that the relationship that you have with a person and knowing what the sensitivities are.
Sure.
What would you say to someone who doesn't have the same challenge as you, so they know what to do when they interacting with someone with a disability?
Okay. I don't know, to be honest, but what I will say is that don't be afraid to ask if they need help, because I think that some people, when they see somebody with a disability, they don't know what to do, and so just to say do you need anything, and then if they say no, then that's it, and so don't be afraid to ask if they need help, because sometimes we do need help, and I think it's nice if people show that sensitivity to say do you need help. It's not. I don't think that you're seeing that I'm weak or feeble or anything like that, because you don't know me, and so so it's okay. For me, it's okay to ask me if I need help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
But everybody's different. Some people might take offence to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see that this person can't cope because because you don't know them. But for me, I'm okay with that.
Does anyone else wish to ask any questions?
People behave in a strange manner when they're around you. If so,
yeah, going back to what I was saying before. With the kids at the swimming pool, saying, "Oh, it's the lady with the broken legs," and adults look at you in a strange way, and especially when. During the summer, when they can see my artificial limb, and they're just like, they still can't comprehend that there's this person walking around with with a metal leg.
Do these perceptions change as you travel from country to country? Which country or place that you've been to seem to be the most, let's say, prepared to host and receive people with disabilities?
Gosh, I don't know.
Would you say the UK it has made progress in that regard?
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
But I just think that it's just human nature.
Okay.
It's human nature. You're looking at something that you're unfamiliar with. You don't really understand, and that, and sometimes because also they're trying to process. Oh. How did this happen? How could this have happened? And is it something horrific? What could have happened? And so they're looking at this and processing this as well. So yeah.
Very well. If there aren't any more questions, Clara, go ahead.
It's not related to
Sure.
your activation. It's what's your favorite kind of pasta to make?
My favourite kind of pasta.
Not the type of the pasta itself, but the sauce. What you?
Oh, right. Okay. Probably. I love making bolognese sauce, but I also make a lovely lemon, basil, and parmesan sauce as well. But to be honest, if you give me a bowl of pasta, I'll take any sauce. Love it, absolutely love it.
Great. Oh my, you guys, what a wonderful conversation we've had here. I'm afraid I must say we're running out of time. Fatima, thank you for such an enlightening chat. I do hope you can come back and share some more of your latest projects and initiatives.
Would love to.
Great.
Thank you so much, Leonardo. It's been an
thank
absolute
you.
pleasure.
Before we go, it's time to find out whether you will be the hero of 1,000 hooks in this episode or not. Today's hook was, which silver screen and real-life hero made the following question? A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. If you have chosen option B, you've got it right. Great job, Juliana. Yay! Tune in next time for another conversation with one of our very special guests in another episode of Living Stories. Till we meet again. This has been an episode of Living Stories at British Council Lisbon, International Day of Persons with Disabilities edition. It has been recorded and edited by Leonardo Silva. Fatema Dias, our podcast guest, has been interviewed by Leonardo Silva, Constanza, Juliana, Madalena, Clara, and Francisco. The soundtrack to this recording was composed by Leonardo Silva on GarageBand. This episode has been edited on Capwing. This is a British Council podcast meant for educational purposes and entertainment within the organisation. All rights reserved to the British Council. No part of this content may be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means without the prior written permission of the copyright holder.